Hi, and welcome to the Backyard Road Trips podcast. I'm Zack.
I'm Jim.
And it's that time of year again. It's the fall.
Annual pumpkin fall beer taste test.
Yeah, absolutely. One that I'm always looking forward to. So today is not blind, except for Jim if he takes off his glasses.
Yeah, as usual.
Yeah. But we've got a nice little array. Got 6 of them, so a 6-pack.
Yep.
And all pumpkin beers of some kind, some way, shape, or form. First one we're drinking is a Smuttynose. I haven't had Smuttynose in a long time.
I can't remember the last time I had one. And so we're picking this in an order where they kind of go from least alcoholic to most.
Right. Yeah.
Alcoholic is ABV.
Mm-hmm.
We're alcoholics, but
This is 5.9 pumpkin ale with real pumpkin. It smells really nice. It smells like a scented candle, but a good one.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't get any pumpkin on it. Now, I got a
taste
little
more,
bit of a nose thing going here, but
yeah, the nose I can smell it.
yeah,
But I can't. The
Can't taste it?
tastes more just spicy.
it does. It's very spicy, and I think it's got like the smoothness of like a pumpkin puree, but this just tastes like kind of a spicy
beer.
beer.
Yeah, it does. It's a nice can. It's funny they're advertising as with real pumpkin because I would think this would be pumpkin spice.
That you're smelling. Maybe they did both.
Maybe they did. But also, as I think we talked about in the past, when you put a real pumpkin in there, what would be the taste on that? Pumpkin doesn't taste like pumpkin spice.
Exactly. The
You know?
pumpkin pie tastes because of the spices, not because of the pumpkin.
No,
yeah,
the pumpkin itself tastes like squash.
Yeah, I was gonna say squash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got a squash beer over here. This is
What? Someone put out a type of beer that it wasn't a pumpkin beer, but it was another yam.
yam. Okay, I have seen.
Yeah.
Well, Untapped, that app.
Yeah.
So the category for pumpkin is pumpkin/yam beer.
Weird.
Yeah, a yam beer. It's a yam good beer.
Is it's very good, Zach.
Think
Is a pumpkin a type of yam? I know
think
very
they're-
little about vegetables. So.
I think they're in the same family. Does this technically mean you're drinking a vegetable?
that's as close as I get.
Or is pumpkin a fruit? I think actually.
I guess it must be. It's got seeds.
Yeah, I don't. You're right. I don't taste. If there was no big orange marketing of pumpkin on the can, I wouldn't taste the pumpkin at all.
I do find it enjoyable.
It's a good beer.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely a good beer. It's funny because so far that's pretty spicy for
Yeah.
it. Where this one, the next one, the new Belgium that we're going to be having, advertised itself as Atomic Pumpkin Spicy Release.
Wow. Atomic.
Yeah, Atomic.
I mean, it's really
That one's going to hit you right in the
it's
groin.
telling you.
It's gonna be a groin smasher. That one. It'd be a good name for a beer or a band. I was gonna say
Both, yeah.
Good point, yeah.
The groin smashers.
Right. Yep. Yes. Fine to drink, fine to sip. If it didn't have that can, they have this on draft. You wouldn't know.
All right.
Except for the initial smell. I definitely, even opening up the can, I did smell that pumpkin spice smell. But now that I'm having my nose right in the cup, less so.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting acclimated to it.
It does have, I think, a really creamy, smooth finish. Are you okay?
I just dropped my headphone. Yeah. Too much pumpkin ale with real pumpkin.
He's cut off.
Now, what have you had so far for autumn beers?
You told me about Tox.
Yeah, did you like that one?
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was
that was
good.
really solid. For a Marzen, just kind of...
Yep. I had a killer headache after it because, it's kind of high in alcohol.
Is it really? Okay, I didn't know
I
that.
thought it was like 8.
Is it?
something.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
a lot of these are creeping up there. And I also noticed that I am really susceptible to the color of the label.
Oh.
Like, I like Sam Oktoberfest because it's red and orange.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
if you get like a German blue
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
thing, I'm like,
Right.
oh, is this? But no, I really, really did like it.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a 4-pack.
You did. So
Yeah.
you tried it at the brewery?
No,
You-
I'm sorry. I got a 4 purely based on your recommendation
Yeah.
that I should try it.
Did you go down 2 talks to do it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It was cool. I didn't realize that they were right there, like, right up from the Crystal Mall.
I know, yeah. The stuff was great because we went there last time I was at home where I had both older boys. We went down to Crystal Mall to go to that toy store, the Toy Vault.
Yeah.
So we went there and Uncle Ken was like, he'd been wanting to go to Talks for a long time. He's like, I think it's close, but we didn't have lunch yet. So I was like, let's just go for a little bit. So we did, and everything we had was really good. I had 5 beers, I think, 5 samples.
Yep.
5 small beers.
Do they still do flights?
This place did. A lot of places have gotten rid of them.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was COVID, But now what some places are doing is they're giving you small pours and charging a lot more for
Right.
them. Before it used to be like $10 for a flight of 4 or
Right.
maybe 12 at the most. But that was pretty expensive.
I've noticed that, and it kind of drives me crazy. But oh no, we don't do flights. That's stupid. No, it's not.
Right. I was actually about to pick up at Treehouse the other day a smoked Hellas lager. But it was a 4-pack, and I don't know if I wanted to commit to a whole 4-pack.
If you ever stumble upon a smoked anything, I will just tell me how much it is. I'll get it for you.
I will. I'll get it. I'll get it. I did have that cabin not too long ago.
Oh, with
the Fox Farm.
From Fox Farm.
That was very good. Mm-hmm. And I had it one of the cold nights in September, where I've had it in the fridge since probably about May. And I just didn't think it really May, June, July were a good smoked beer month.
Nope.
So I had it on cold September night, and that really was nice.
Yeah, great.
So, yeah, that was really good.
On my birthday, I got a beer that was like a barley wine. It was like 18% from Fox Farm, and it was aged in port barrels.
Oh, wow.
And I would say that it was the closest I've had to Utopias.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's up there. Weren't you telling me that they're the Sam Adams winner or something like that?
Oh, were they? No, I didn't know. I just know they've been really a lot of accolades.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Sam Adams.
I thought you told me that the head brewer for Fox Farm won some competition with Sam Adams.
I don't know.
Stroke brain, I guess. But well, anyway, I thought that was really good. I had that, and I had Tynes, which is their Oktoberfest.
Okay,
it was also good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's about it. And then I got Rosemary's Baby because I had to. So good, man. I'm so glad we did this last year.
I know.
Whatever.
We did last two. Now, Rosemary last year, so they didn't advertise as a pumpkin beer, and this time they did? Is that the deal?
I don't remember. I thought, it's just my bad recollection, that it was, when we drank it, we said it was a great fall beer, but
not a pumpkin.
It wasn't a pumpkin beer.
Exactly, and that's why I got number 2 and not number 1.
Right, but then I'm looking at it, and it's like, it's a pumpkin ale brewed with pumpkin on it, and I'm like, did something change?
Maybe it didn't taste pumpkin-y.
Maybe that's right.
That was the blind one.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we're like, I didn't know.
And then last year we had it again. We brought it back. And when we did the Jackie and Mark Winters were both in our pumpkin one last year. When we had it at the old nail salon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
And I think that's where I remember I was really getting into that one there. I thought that was, I think I got like a 4-pack of it or a 6-pack and being like, oh, the Rosemary is just such a good beer.
Yep.
And then Teddy dropped a beer of yours at the...
we went to the Big E. Did you go to the Big E this year?
No, I haven't been to the Big E since 1997.
Why?
I'd like to. I just never been since then.
Wow.
Yeah. Once I lived it up in 97, that was it.
That was a big party for you.
Yeah.
It's like your Woodstock.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. Maybe go to the Meeting House Rocks Fair, but other than that...
I was really tortured over, I wanted a beer, and there's so many beers to pick from. Yeah. And I was texting Zack saying hey, what would you get? Mm-hmm. And you told me to go get a Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think the ones you mentioned, I was like, yeah.
And I ended up chickening out because I just wanted to get something new because I can't say no. And it wasn't great. I even forget who it was.
It was a UFO.
UFO.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, man, it didn't last 5 minutes. I don't know. I sat down. We had a great time watching this, performer. Okay. But then Teddy he knocked it over, spilled half of it, and then he crushed the cup, and I didn't realize it. So I went to take another sip, and it all just poured out on my crotch. I was like, well, this was doomed. So
now, what did it taste like?
It didn't taste very pumpkin-y.
Okay.
I think that a lot of the beers that advertise themselves as being, we brew with real pumpkin. Yeah. They're not pumpkin flavor. They're not the pumpkin flavor that we know and love. Yeah. It's just it's a different texture that comes to the beer. And that's it's good. But when I'm, it's just a little bit of monkeypox. That's okay. I don't think that's how you spread it.
You're sitting around with a Kleenex in both nostrils.
Yeah. Yeah, right? I don't know. So, I mean, I think that I like pumpkin beers, but they're not what I'm looking for when I want a pumpkin beer. You know what I mean? Like if it's made with real pumpkin?
Yeah, like this. Yeah, this is, again, I guess you could just do a taste test sometime of just beers made with real pumpkin versus pumpkin beers.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting one. Because I told you the whole thing about if it's an alcohol, and if it says blueberry, like a blueberry vodka, that means it's artificially flavored. But if you called it, Jim's vodka and it had blueberries in it, you could have it, but you couldn't call it blueberry vodka.
That's so bizarre. I didn't know that. Why?
one of the government regulations, so that it's
classic
like blueberry. So yeah, blueberry.
Oh, we got a trademark on blueberries that has nothing to do with the actual fruit.
Right. There was one distillery that I have been working with. They had a gin. They wanted to call blueberry gin. Nope, because it has real blueberries. They got rejected the name. It's like, well, why can't I call it that? Because it's not made with like blueberry extract or whatever flavoring.
Like, what do you suggest we call it then?
Right. So he called it summer gin and then he has a summer, fall, autumn, whatever. But like, yeah, or fall and autumn are the same thing.
Does it work like that with other fruits?
Yeah, it's any other fruit. So anything that would be like maybe why this says pumpkin ale with real pumpkin. Maybe this next one, the atomic pumpkin, is going to be puree. Or not puree, but like extract, because it's not, so just be interesting.
But not with real pumpkin.
Yeah. I don't know, but that's also, beer could be different than hard liquor. I mean, it could be very different because hard liquor is a whole nother. I mean, each vice has its own governmental category that you could put in.
It's true. So, yeah,
and that doesn't always overlap in their regulation.
Yes.
Of it, shall you say?
All right, well, let's finish this up. Down the hatch.
Enjoyable. I mean, I think that was definitely enjoyable. The next one we have is, New Belgium. I mean, I don't know if we can even consider that a craft beer.
They're owned by Bud, right?
Are they now? Somebody big. I don't know. But they, Voodoo Rangers, their IPA series on it. All right, so it's spicy release, Voodoo Ranger, Atomic Pumpkin, ale brewed with pumpkin, cinnamon, and chilies.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, a chili beer.
So it is.
Oh, I might drink this whole thing.
I'm gonna want the whole thing. I'm gonna take mine too. Let's see. It's good until next August. It's but brewed with pumpkin. So that doesn't. This says pumpkin, atomic pumpkin, but doesn't say brewed with real pumpkin. But it says pumpkin on the side. So I'm thinking maybe it's not. It must not be like the liquor that has to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It has to disclose.
Wow. It smells. I can smell the pumpkin spice.
Wow. Yeah.
With it, but not potpourri-ish, but
I get a little burn on the.
Yep, definitely can taste that chili there at the end.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh, I like this.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I mean,
it really does chili. Yeah, I mean, you can. That's a heat wave. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this. I was just thinking the other day. I'm like, boy, I wish I could find a chili beer.
Really?
It's been a long time. Rogue made a really good one with sriracha, but yeah, this is great. The chili has a really nice touch on it. And it tastes like it tastes like I'm eating pumpkin pie filling.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, this is nice.
Ooh.
And that the heat just kind of creeps up towards the end.
Yep. Oh, well done, Voodoo Ranger.
Yeah.
Or New Belgium Voodoo Ranger.
Right.
Atomic Pumpkin. That makes the atomic make some sense.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't
You'd think that they would like, I don't know, it didn't strike me other than the word atomic that there was chilies in it.
No, I read the little thing. That's tiny print too.
Yeah, it's something you probably want people to be aware of. Right. That's a polarizing flavor to introduce.
Because if you just had this without any kind of knowledge, you're pretty much kind of screwed. It's like if you committed to a 12-pack of this. Oh, here's a pumpkin beer. Yeah, and didn't see. I mean, okay.
Oh, by the way, it's got chilies in it.
Right, right. The atomic name could kind of.
I'm gonna look it up on Untapped to see if it's got some poor reviews because of people who didn't realize.
I bet you so. And again, New Belgium's a major label, so it's not like you've got, so it's not like it's just like a true indie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that when I took a little bit of a bigger drink, and you can still taste it right in the back of your throat.
Yeah. Wow. Actually, yeah, it keeps. That's sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
I'm surprised it's so sharp too for such a large spread brewery. I mean, this isn't like somebody just throwing chilies in your backyard. What do they say on the old program?
It gets a middle of the road 3.61.
Okay. I feel like if it's not a New England IPA, it's not gonna people are going all nutsy.
Oh, hey, you know what? First review I just found. They gave it a low score because they wanted it to be spicier.
Oh, really?
I pretty much missed the habanero. That's too bad.
I would think it's pretty upfront. I mean, I'm not gonna burn my mouth out this way, but
you know what we should do? All right, here's what we're gonna. I'm sorry because I'm reading this. Yeah. I don't think you want to blow people's face off with spicy beers,
right? Yeah,
especially if it's something that's got mass appeal. But
right.
I'm going to read some reviews as we go through them of each beer.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So here's one person's review from a District Elite. Smells good, and then it goes downhill fast. Smell and taste, cinnamon, ginger, and spice that hits the back of the throat with a burn. It's odd and not in a good way. It's literally a spicy beer. It's literally spicy beer. Maybe a good taster, but not a point. Yeah, so this sounds like someone who didn't realize that they were getting a...
What percent? What rating?
They gave that a 2.3.
Oh, really? 2.3. That's a pretty harsh.
Yep.
Harsh one.
Yeah, I don't think that some of these people actually.
Right.
Very strong cinnamon ginger flavor, which immediately hits the back of the throat with a burn.
Yep.
Tastes good and is literally spicy. Spicy beer is really not my thing. I can see the draw.
I'm definitely getting less pumpkin as I drink it, and more just spice, which I don't mind because I think I like the heat. I think it's so kind of the novelty of the spicy beer I enjoy, but I'm not getting too much more pumpkin.
Yeah, you know what? You're exactly right. I think it's like you can only focus on one, and it's like it's dominated by
the spice.
But
I think
I'm not complaining.
No, me neither. No, and it's also nice because it mixes it up. Because if you're having a whole thing of pumpkin beers, they're going to taste exactly the same. So I like when somebody puts their own spin on it. So I definitely wouldn't. I would probably give it more of a 3.75 maybe. Yeah. I'm not going to give it elite, but I would give it a solid score. So right there.
I mean, yeah, I like you. I appreciate that it's they're doing something different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Trying something new. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Is this the bottle that Tommy wanted you to get a bunch of because of the skeleton?
He wanted me to get a whole 12 of them.
Yeah, smart man, Tommy.
That's right. Yeah, they love to find. Whenever we're at the liquor store, if he finds the Voodoo Rangers, and it's like, yeah, it's for you. A couple times I've given in and gotten it. Usually the 12-pack. It's a good one to have if there's like people coming over, you know.
Yeah.
Crowd pleasing. Maybe not this one because a lot of people would get scared of that. But like
cowards.
Yeah. But if like they have like the mixed pack or whatever, Voodoo Ranger. I'm interested in this next one. Brewery I've never heard of called Timberyard out of East Brookfield. So we're talking about a little bit of northwest of Worcester. And cool backstory about this beer. It's called Spider Gates by Timberyard. And Spider Gates was when I was doing work on the whole, you gave yourself a little child size. Give yourself a baby.
I am a child, so don't.
Charlie's drinking that same thing tonight,
All right,
I think.
Well, I'll give more to it. Jeez.
Talking about peer pressure. So the can is really daunting. It's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, it's a cool can.
Outside gates with like a spider on the gates. It's called Spider Gates. Brown ale brewed with local pumpkin and fresh ground spices. This is an interesting take. It's a brown ale.
Doesn't
only
look like
6%. So the Spidergate Cemetery is an old Quaker cemetery in the town of Leicester, right near Worcester. And
you happen to know this stuff?
Yeah.
Because you're just this kind of. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, because this is one of the best known Massachusetts folktale or legends.
All right.
And there's like 8 gates, spider gates. Get it? Like 8. So 8 of these. And supposedly there's something about being very haunted or some demon or whatever about. I don't remember exactly the haunting part of it, but I remember going looking for it too and couldn't find it.
Wow.
Out there. Jackie and I actually went years ago out to
Leicester.
Couldn't find it. We're not at night. It's over by the Worcester airport. It's a kind of a creepy little area like Leicester, Paxton, this and that. So I saw Spider Gates. I was like, that's a really cool thing. And on top of it, you have to be in the know. There's no story about that at all in the can.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Oh, so this is like a beer made for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So I toast the beer itself, other than it's a little scary, the logo, but I smell the brown and I smell the spice. Oh yeah. Kind of got like an early winter flavor to it.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Yeah. Like a November.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't help that it's a brown can. Kind of reminds me of November.
Yeah, it's the colors, right?
Yeah, I know, suckered in by the marketing. There's another brewery, River Styx, over in Fitchburg, and they have it's all Grim Reaper imagery.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, where it's like, and it's those like such elaborate can art on those, and it's like a double IPA. It tastes like a juicy, but it has like the Grim Reaper. But I guess if you're called River Styx, then you kind of
have to play to it.
Yeah,
there's only one review on Beer Advocate. Yeah. It's a 3.79.
All right, so solid.
Yep.
Solidly above the average.
Let's see. Cinnamon and brown sugar nuke. Touches of nutmeg and vanilla with pumpkins coming in with a muted presence. That's the nose, the aroma.
Okay.
Yeah. Aroma is fine.
Yeah, I'm not that.
Yeah. Taste. The taste is takes a step back from the aroma. Cinnamon is still here, but is being upstaged by nutmeg. The brown sugar from the base brown ale is likewise a ghost of its former self, and I am getting an overwhelmingly malty nose. No real pumpkin flavor to speak of, though. I am detecting some dark fruits which adds a small layer of complexity. Actually coming a little thin on the body, but not watered down enough. Eel must mean feel less than its 6%. You know, he didn't seem to have a high opinion of it. I have a high opinion of it.
Even though he gave it 3.79, which to me, these people know that. I mean, how much did you have to? That's wordy.
Yeah, he wrote a book about it. Yeah, I mean, maybe he knows a lot more.
I guess so.
I have a very unrefined palate. Maybe he's got a super refined palate.
Me too. I couldn't. Yeah, I think it's quite good.
Yeah,
I think for a brown ale, again, I don't think you need to like brown ale to enjoy this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't know it as a brown ale if I was tasting it.
Yeah, I could see a variation of just an ale with pumpkin and other stuff, but
yeah,
now that I'm saying a brown ale, I can feel like it's not as. I feel like if it's just a regular ale, it would be more kind of bastardized by the ingredients, where with the brown ale, it gives it a good backbone that the other ingredients kind of slide right into.
Yeah. I mean, a brown ale is kind of like a light stout, and that's what it really kind of hits me as.
Yep.
I think it's just fine. I think it's solid.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. Well, they did a nice job.
I think so too. I'm scared about the spider gates. You finished yours? No, you still got a.
Oh, stop! I'm ahead of you.
Yeah, you are. I guess. Yeah, you got 2 sips. Yeah.
This is peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta wait till we do the cocaine episode. I'm really gonna be in trouble.
I think we've done a good pattern so far. I'm ready for that nitro.
Yeah. Did you finish your third?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think? Whoa.
Okay, so this is the one. The last 2 years.
Oh wow!
2 years ago, the pumpkin won. Right.
Oh my god!
This is the nitro.
She's gonna like it.
I would.
Oh my god!
Would think
the
so.
smell on this thing is unbelievable.
Yeah, the smell on that. I could just smell that all day.
Yeah.
It does smell nice. Yeah.
Very different than the pumpkin regular too, which is also just delicious. But that nitro adds a whole new element. When I got the 4-pack of the nitro last year, though, I kind of felt like after 2 of these, I was ready to go back to the other. It was almost like an indulgence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like with almost like a milkshake. It's just saying that it's like I enjoyed it a lot, but you can't drink a milkshake like one after another unless you're Adam at Custy's or Nordic Lodge in between lobsters. But I mean, it's a treat. It's a real treat. My ranking probably goes. I mean, I've had this before and I love it, so it's hard to include that when I haven't. You know what I mean? Like I haven't tried the other ones.
Yeah, but go anyway.
For right now, I might go number 1 for the Atomic right now.
Yeah.
And then for this, then the Timberyard. I liked all 3 of those a lot. And then the Smuttynose, which was still good. It just wasn't a standout. Someone gave me that, I wouldn't be unhappy.
Right.
But I wouldn't go out of my way to get it. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to get the Timberyard either, but I liked it a lot.
It's a good way of defining.
Yeah. Or the other 2, if I did see that in a mixed pack with all the Atomic Pumpkin, I would definitely get that. Like get a whole thing of it.
I would get the Atomic Pumpkin if I saw it somewhere. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't get at least the other 2. I
get the
Southern Tier, of course. Yeah.
I would get that, but I would put it on reserve.
Yeah.
Meaning I could only have it if I really did something wonderful.
Like you made a Charlie.
Yeah, exactly.
This is your celebratory.
Right. It's because it just tastes like. I mean, there must be 8 million calories in that one too. It tastes like it's eggnog.
It's thick, yeah.
But what does the nitro do to it? I mean, that's the.
I know in cars it makes it go faster.
So the Warlock is next. Now, what would you think is 16 ounce versus 12 ounce of that beer?
Of what do you mean?
The pumpkin.
Oh, would I prefer it in one of the?
Yep.
I think 12 ounce is fine.
I think 12 ounce would be fine for this too. I think by the end of 16, you're going to be like, oh.
Yeah.
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah. I feel like that's popular with like a lot of these heavier or at least higher alcohol beers as they come in like a bigger can.
Yeah.
But like I don't always want to drink that much heavy alcohol.
Right. Well, so I told you I was just at Treehouse the other day and they have their King Julius, which is one of my favorites. It's double IPA. And they had it only available in 6 12 ounces instead of 4 16 ounces. I'd be happy for a 16 ounce. But with them, I was happy with the 12 because to me, I don't need. Sometimes when I get to the last 4 ounces, I'm like, oh, I don't really need the full thing. And But the interesting one, they had a different beer of theirs. You could get the 416s or the 612s. Same amount of beer, $5 more for the 12. I'm like, is it because of the can, the aluminum being used, or what?
That can't be.
Yeah, it just seemed it should be the same price to me, or maybe a couple cents more. But that was weird. But
need a bottle opener?
I actually got one right here.
Nice. Okay.
This is now another Southern Tier, the Warlock Imperial Pumpkin Stout. So I think maybe a nice blend after the last one, because the last one was so sweet. A rich stout could be a good balance. Sounds like we're at a factory in the back. Have you sipped yet?
Nope. Here we go. Ooh.
I like it. I like it. I don't know how much I call it pump. I mean,
it grows.
You really should take a leak while you're on the air.
Oh, sorry. It's just I couldn't hold it. Boy, your table's never going to recover from that.
What do you think?
I mean, my expectations were really high. And it's hard for them to topple their own, but meh.
Yeah, not your favorite?
It's subtle. Nothing special about it. It's not bad. I mean, for 8.6.
Yeah, it's very smooth for 8.6.
Yeah, but not quite poison.
I like it. I like it. I like it a decent amount. I just don't know if I would.
Would you go out to buy this?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not. But I like it. 8.6. Yeah, higher.
Yep, that's like 3 Bud Lights.
Yeah. It's good. It's a decent stout. I could drink it, and the thing is, what I like about it, it doesn't taste like motor oil.
Yes.
For a lot of times at 8.6, you're starting to get into that. Ooh.
Especially with Imperial stouts, yeah.
Now, here's a question for you, and this is going to be less about beer and more about liquor. You enjoy your whiskey.
Sure.
Do you like the burn that goes with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's an extent where, like, that's too much burn, but, yeah, I mean, the burn is okay.
See, I've realized that I really enjoy smooth. Now, but it has to be, like, I did a whiskey tasting last night in my own house. Well, because I've been having
2 in the morning.
Yeah.
By himself.
I was watching Lifetime. This is all true, actually. Not 2 in the morning. It was more like 10:30. But what it was is I need more pages for this book that I'm writing.
Okay.
So I'm like, I should probably take all the liquor I have, taste, like we were talking about drops, like almost like what Irene and, we drink, just very, I had a lot last night and could not feel anything. That's how little. But I had 6 gins and I had 3 whiskeys last night.
Okay. Wow.
And the first whiskey I had was a single malt, and it was a little bit watery.
Okay.
So easy to drink, but not as lacked a little bit on taste. The second one, which was a rye, enjoyed more the taste, but there was that burn that I didn't really enjoy. Then the third one was a bourbon, which had, I kind of summed up the other 2 a little bit better, but definitely the one I had at the place the other day I was talking about with you, for me, hit that sweet spot. It was a bourbon, and it had full flavor, but it didn't burn going down. No burn.
Do you know what percentage alcohols these were?
Last night, I had, just checking my little notebook here. So the first one I had was it was 80 proof.
Yep.
The single malt. And I could taste a little hint of like almost a licorice taste to it, which was an interesting thing. Mm-hmm. Easiest to drink, but I wouldn't crave it to drink straight. The second one was an 86 straight rye.
Yep.
And that had the burn, but it was a lot more flavor. The bourbon was 94, and it had a sweetness to it that mellowed it a bit. It was a single barrel 4-grain bourbon. But then when I had barrel strength the other day, which barrel strength, as we know from Irene, is pretty much going to whip you upside the head. It just had that magic balance of not too full flavor, but not as much burn. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Who made the barrel strength one that
was Chattermark.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what proof it was?
I don't remember.
Man, that's impressive. Yeah. Usually, I mean, I feel like what you're describing is it's often tied. Like you want the more flavor, it's going to be the higher in alcohol, and you're going to get more burn, and it's kind of hard to avoid it. But
because
that's good.
Like when we had with Irene, the cask strength rye.
Yeah,
that one I could it was like 125 proof that we had.
Was that the one that was like stay a while or whatever?
Stay a while. And that one I could feel going down all the way down my esophagus into my stomach.
Yeah, that's just tearing things out.
Yeah, and I didn't really like that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like any flavor I could enjoy, the burn overshadowed the flavor to it.
Yeah.
So I guess this goes back to this beer where I like it that you can still have a lot of flavor in it and there's no motor oil taste
it's
to
very
it.
Balanced.
Very balanced. And I guess that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a spirit. Another one that I have had is a 5.5 year aged rum.
Okay.
And that one is, see, I got my cheat sheet here. Where's the rum? Rum was the first one, I think. Here we go. Privateer was, okay, that was 114.8 proof rum.
Wow.
Lots of taste. It tasted more like whiskey. Because you had the oak, the vanilla of the oak came through. Single cask, but there's very complex character, but it definitely had a bite at the end, the burn. With 114.8 proof, you kind of have,
Yeah, I don't know how you avoid that. I mean,
right.
It is mostly alcohol.
This is true. This is true. And then some of the gins I was looking at, we had one that was 86 proof, but both the 86 proof and the, where was it? Both were 86 proof, actually. Two here that I was talking about. Both had almost like not a medicinal, but a disinfectant taste to it. Fine in a cocktail, but not really great in as drinking by itself. And then there was a 90 proof that I had that I liked quite a bit and I thought was pretty smooth. Another one that I had that was, how much proof was that one? 80 proof only, but it was cask strength. So it had been sitting there in oak barrels and whiskey barrels for a while, but didn't really care for the taste very much.
Really?
Yeah. So it just was an interesting, going back to your higher percentage beers, which is nothing compared to, the maple cream I had last night too, which is utterly delicious. That is deadly, that stuff. It's so good. It's 15%. Rum-based, excellent. But think about this beer. This beer is 8.6. When you get to a beer, you're like, oh man, 8.6, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But I was, but then they can make this rum, not cocktail, but rum cordial maybe. That would be like, that's, also had a walnut cordial the other day.
Describe that to me. What do you mean?
They're using it for basically like a Manhattan base or like a Noshino, they're calling it. And,
okay.
So the distilleries, if they want to open up a tasting room or a bar, they can't. So let's say your triple sec or your vermouth, your oftentimes your mixers that are alcoholic, lower alcoholic, but are alcoholic, you can't have those unless you make them yourself.
Really?
Because that's the rule about a distillery. Every alcoholic beverage has to be your own. Even so, they have to get around it. So they don't make a vermouth. What are they going to do for for a Manhattan or a martini or whatever? So in this case, they made up a walnut liqueur, which was really, I was like, you have to market this, but I guess it costs a lot of money to make. So like keeping it in the well is going to be more beneficial for drinks in house than.
What is the walnut? How is the walnut being used here?
I don't know how they make the walnut.
They just called it.
No, they called it something, but like there's walnut is actually the base of this liqueur.
Like, do they age it in walnut barrels?
I don't think so. I think it's something like walnut.
They use like real walnuts?
Walnuts, yeah, walnuts.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really good.
Was it chocolatey by any chance?
It was nutty. It had a real nutty flavor, which makes sense. It is had a big wall flavor.
Yeah,
it's like you're eating plaster. So, but it had a nut base. It was rich. It was very rich. It did have a little bit of a chocolatey-ness to it. Yep. But they had it in the cocktail. And a lot of the cocktails were actually, the base was the white rye that I had. And one of them was a jalapeno, which was excellent. So I was telling you, the jalapeno start, but instead, unlike the beer that we had, jalapeno start, but a honey finish.
Oh, wow.
Which was excellent. It was really nice. And then why I got the bourbon was there was a muddled strawberry bourbon drink called, I think it was called the Charlestown Buck. And it was with ginger beer, a bit of ginger beer, some simple syrup, and some bitters to it, and it was just delicious.
Do you think that you have a style that you like with like whiskey? Like, do you prefer bourbons over rye, over single malts, or?
I don't think I'm versed enough yet.
Yeah.
A lot of it is because a lot of the distilleries around that I've been at might do one whiskey, might do two whiskeys at the most, but are not doing a full spread.
Yeah.
And I still haven't dove in enough, not locally, to determine what I like. So far, like that bourbon I had yesterday couple days ago. That really hit the spot for me. But to be honest with you, if I'm out for a cocktail, I'll have a Jack and Ginger, which Jack Daniels is, not like a fantastic whiskey, but it's, certainly a well-known name. But so I'd like to be able to experiment a little more, trying to find my sweet spot with that. So sometime we'll have to do the podcast up in Plymouth and give you a little taste of all the little things that we got going on.
I always wonder about I understand that new distilleries aging stuff takes a long time, and you have a ton of money just sitting in a warehouse waiting before, and so you have to churn something out. So I guess I get the business side of that. But when they I don't know what I feel about when I see that they use their own stuff in mixes or cocktails. Sometimes it makes sense, and then sometimes it's and maybe it's super I don't know, purist or whatever of is this not good enough to drink on its own? Does it need to be masked with something else?
I think what it is for their tasting room, they're doing it because people want mixed drinks. So they're having a mixed drink menu. So, okay, we don't do vermouth, but we can do this walnut liqueur that if you like a Manhattan, maybe you'd like this.
Gotcha.
So that's what that's there for. But a lot of distilleries do the ready to drinks, which is a hard path to go on, I think, because I've only come across one or two ready to drinks that I really thought were good.
Yeah.
A lot of them being either too much alcohol taste or too much taste like Kool-Aid. And then you're at this situation where if I'm drinking this grape drink that tastes like Kool-Aid, I think we talked about this thing before, but it's I'm liking the taste of it, but doesn't taste like a quality thing. It tastes like I'm drinking juice.
Yeah.
So I like juice sometimes, not even real juice. You know what I mean? So you have that kind of battle within yourself. But I think the ready to drink is a hard. The one thing, Boston Harbor does an espresso martini ready to drink, which you literally pour it out and it is delicious because the espresso in it is so rich, that it's really good. I'm not a big Blanc Ball martini fan, but that's really quite good.
I think that I need to get into the world of mixed drinks.
Yeah,
a bit. I'm missing out.
Actually, one of the guys that I've been working with, he's a worldwide known mixologist.
Really?
And he wants me on his podcast.
That's cool. But you should go learn some tips.
But I gotta talk about how to make my favorite drink. I don't know. Another distillery with one of the gins. Everybody's giving me recipes to put for the book.
Okay.
He wants me to come up with my own recipe to use for the gin, which is a cool idea. But I'm I don't know. Gin on the rocks. Does that count?
Yeah, right. Straight.
Right.
Neat,
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it's, and some of it is just that now that I have all these bases, I don't have, I do have simple syrup, I have grenadine, but I don't have bitters. Yeah. I don't have a full cocktail bar. So.
Right.
But I do have 6 kinds of gin, or, I do have a bunch of different things for the bases. So the one thing they never give you is vodka.
Why?
I think a lot of it is because what's your goal of a vodka?
Get drunk.
Well, yeah, no taste, right? So
neutral way to get drunk. Yes.
Yeah. So a good vodka should have no taste to it, which is, remember Foggy Harbor vodka?
Yeah.
It was made here.
Yep.
We did a taste test between Foggy Harbor and Sobieski, me and Grampy. And Foggy Harbor was really good because it was smooth and you had no taste. Sobieski was fine, but had a little bit of burn to it. So Foggy Harbor, kind of clinched that, okay, this is a good vodka. And the only vodkas I've really been allowed to taste more are the ones that are flavored, like a orange flavored vodka, horseradish flavored vodka, which have a nice taste to them, but are certainly not, you're not drinking vodka for the taste. And most places don't even do a vodka because it's so easy to make.
Right.
You can make a vodka out of, your old sweat socks.
Well, I thought that a lot of them would make a vodka because, while they're waiting for their bourbon to age, they have to churn something out to sell. And
there's a few different ways to go about that. For Chattermark, they opened in 2019. Not to the public, but just opened up. What happened a year later?
Yeah.
So they had to shut the doors and let the stuff age. So it actually worked.
Oh, so they kind of got lucky. Yeah.
And so now, if the one, they say one silver lining. So in 2022, they're opening up to the public. They've been able to buy and be in stores and in bars, but to open up a tasting room to the public, they have to wait. That's a
really good point.
Which is so funny. Other places do something called is it MGH or
MGP?
MGP, yeah.
Yeah, out of
about
Indiana.
MGP, yes, about that, right?
Yes.
So you got 49% of theirs, and you mix your own.
Oh, I didn't know that they even mixed it. I thought they
some
just
of them are
bought
just
it.
bought it.
Why don't you explain to the listeners what MGP is?
It's basically a whiskey wholesaler that you go and you order it, and a lot of places do it. A lot of the craft ones,
especially if you're brand new.
And some of the big, Bulliet, they do it.
Yep.
They do it. I want to say Litchfield Distillery here in Connecticut.
Yeah, at first, that was their first offerings were just this place from Indiana.
And Bulliet is Litchfield Distillery, I think, is really good stuff.
Aren't they releasing their own stuff now?
Are they?
Isn't it aged to a point where they're...
Okay.
You tell by the bottled by versus distilled by.
Okay. Because that one... Because they really... I think they do some great stuff. Like their vanilla bourbon I really like. Their maple bourbon. But yeah, they're another one. So a lot of these, and a lot of the ones that I'm dealing with now do that too. So a lot of it's a way to get stuff out there. Other ones have gone about doing a white whiskey first.
Nice.
Putting out a white whiskey, or other ones will focus, like Glen Farmer is waiting for their whiskey. They've been open since 2019, but they do a vodka, they do a gin, they do variations of vodka, they do, rums, different things like that. So I think there's different ways to kind of go about from that, but I was like, so you have to be a grain to glass distillery if you're going to be not using the MGP.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like impossible to like.
Yep.
That's why the whiskey industry is so. I feel bad for them because it's so hard. Like you have to tie up so much money for such a long time.
Right.
And then like hope that it came out good.
Came out good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And the thing is, a lot of the one it's. Almost think about coffee, or I mean, you could think of it like beer too, I guess. But beer, you don't have a base. Beer, you just have the hops. But coffee, you don't grow your own coffee beans, right? You got to import them from
someone's growing them.
South America or Central America or Hawaii.
But not you.
But then you got to roast them and things like that. So I guess the argument for using the MGP is you get this base stuff, but still you've got to put your own imprint on it to make it delicious.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think there's two points of view on that. One's like, well, I'm blending. I'm doing this to it. I am aging it this way. I'm using this. So I'm making it my own. Another argument is like, well, you didn't start it from grain. So that's kind of the argument, I think, of going both ways with it.
Yeah.
So. And then part of me is like, well, whatever, the end result's good. I mean, I'll be happy to drink it.
Yeah, but aren't you... Well, if they did something to impart it, like their own stuff, if they like age it in a certain way or add.
And now
something.
It's getting harder to get MGP because they're starting to market themselves as a distillery. And I think I've heard from a few, and probably because shipping or barrel shortages or whatever, that they're doing more for their own consumers rather than shipping out for others.
Yeah.
So... This is interesting.
It is super interesting.
Should we do the last one here?
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
Oh, good timing. You want to try your last one?
My sip?
Yeah, your sip.
Okay.
Definitely got the pumpkin on this. It tastes like more pumpkin flavoring, though. Let's see. See what you think. It does smell good.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's a subtle pumpkin. Mm-hmm. Does not taste like it's a 10%. Like all of theirs, it doesn't taste like it's a 10%.
That's what we just had a big tangent on about. I was saying with the liquor, I like my liquor to have full taste without the burn, which is a hard combination.
It's got to be very smooth.
I like smooth. Anything you've given me, though, hasn't been so unbelievably burny.
What do you mean? Like the whiskeys I'll share with you?
Yeah.
You have an impressive tolerance, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
You drank that one that Irene gave. That was pretty hot. And you like it was nothing.
I have 3 boys. I mean... Well, actually, Jackie has an impressive tolerance.
As we'll find out in the next episode.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always happy to taste, basically eat or drink anything. Don't give me a cup of toilet water, please.
Is that what that is? Is this toilet water to you?
What do you think of this one?
I like it a lot, and it might be my favorite.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Oh, you hear that, Kentucky?
Yeah. Because I really like the first one.
Yeah.
But the atomic part kind of sneaks up after a while. And, he's been hurt today. So
you know what he wants? This is like Friday crying when you were on the phone. He wants your attention. He's jealous.
Because I've been holding him on my lap.
Yeah.
Delicious. Thank you for sharing.
You want some more? There's some more right there.
Not good for now. Thank you.
Okay. That's a high mark. This is good though. It's got a smooth taste. It definitely doesn't taste 10%.
No.
Got a little finish of the pumpkin.
It's not a pumpkin bomb.
No.
It's
all right.
I don't know. It's not great. It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad.
No.
I've never ever guessed it's 10%.
Mm-mm.
which is just what you were saying.
Dangerously 10% right there.
All of theirs are dangerously high. They don't taste like they taste like they're crushable, sessionable, drinkable ales. And
so what's your order?
I think I'm really pleased with the Atomic Pumpkin.
Yeah.
And then the Southern Tier Nitro. Mm-hmm. Probably the Timberjack. What is it?
Timberyard, yeah.
And then maybe, I don't know, maybe this one goes last. Maybe it was the Smuttynose. Like, wait, did I miss one?
Warlock.
Warlock's probably last, unfortunately. I don't know. I guess it wasn't stout enough to be a stout for me. It wasn't pumpkin enough to be a pumpkin me. It was too balanced. But that's why I like the Atomic Pumpkin, because I want something to slap me in the face.
Right.
Like, it didn't slap me in the face. But doesn't mean it's a bad beer. It just means it wasn't for me.
I think I'm agreeing with you with the first three. Atomic, Pumpkin, and Timberyard. I might give the nod to the Pumpkin sometimes, again, as a treat. But having a 16 ounce of that is going to be a meal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's going to be like a Jim Dandy Sunday.
It's a once a year.
Timberyard. I might go Warlock next, because I could drink it as a beer.
Yeah, you get a point.
I have to admit, there's none that I didn't like. The first time we did it, there was a few that I was like, this just doesn't taste very good.
Yeah.
Where there's none of those. I mean, these are all, I think, solid. I mean, maybe I would do between this one and the Pumpkin Ale. I might give the Pumpkin Ale the nod because it's more drinkable.
Yep.
And I could even put this above the Warlock, possibly, depending on the style I wanted to have that at the moment. And then this one. I like, and I don't dislike any of them. Again, give me any of these and I would be happy.
Yep.
But with the number one, the Atomic Pumpkin. Yeah, Atomic Pumpkin.
I can't believe it.
Me neither. I thought that would have been...
I would have thought it was be a Southern Tier. I mean, Southern Tier showed twice on this one, and didn't get there. But all right, well, congratulations to
New Belgium. We're going to support the bigs.
Yeah. Yeah, you beat out the little guys.
Yeah, exactly. Go to stomping. Urinate all over the small ones. Well, this has been another third annual fun taste testing. I'm Zack.
I'm Jim.
And this is the third, I just said it, the third annual pumpkin taste test on Backyard Road Trips.
So you don't remember. Wait, so you don't
and
forget.
Thanks a lot for Linda for joining us on there.
I shouldn't call her Linda.
You can call her Linda.
No, I don't like that. You call her that.
You're almost
you should call her Mom.
You're almost 40. You call her Grammy usually.
Jeez, indeed.
About you or her?
Well, how you're speaking to your
I said Grammy. No, Grammy. What did you think I said?
All right, no, all right. I'm sorry.
What did you think I
said? Nothing. Move on. I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Usually the kids are home, so I say, "Oh, Grammy."
Yeah, I do the same. Okay. You're right.
I don't want to know what you thought he was going to say.
Nothing.
You follow us on backyardroadtrips.com, social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or your favorite podcast platform.